Okay, hallo alle zusammen. Heute machen wir weiter mit Begrüßungsformeln. Hi everyone. So today we're going to talk about greetings and farewells. Really, these are straightforward. They're very, very similar to what we do in English, and many of them are cognates. You all have a vocab sheet, and on this vocab sheet specifically, it goes through two columns of them, and one column shows you the formal greetings and farewells, and one shows you the informal ones. So formal and informal. Now, whenever you're in a formal situation, like speaking to a teacher or a professor or an administrator at the school, you know, that's straightforward. You're going to use these formal greetings. The informal ones are straightforward when you're talking to a buddy, like any one of your friends or a peer. But whenever you're talking to somebody else that doesn't fall very cleanly into one category or the other, you kind of have to make a judgment call. So if you are, let's say, at the mall and you go into a shop, into a store, and you have a greeter at the front and they greet you and they say hello, which one do you think you're going to use? So they should, if they were in Germany, use the formal greeting. In America, we're very informal in that situation, but in Germany, that's a formal situation. And it doesn't matter if that person is your age or not. They are in a different position than you in this case, so you would use formal greeting and so would they. If you're talking to your parents' best friend and they're an adult that you know pretty well, which one would you use, formal or informal? So you're going to use informal in that case because it is a family friend and you know them. They're somebody that you're very familiar with. So familiar situations, it's going to be informal. And one that comes up over and over again is, let's say you're in trouble with your mom and she's yelling at you. Would you be in informal or a formal speech at that point? So that is informal. In Germany, any familial situations, so when talking to a parent, you're not going to speak formally. It's always going to be informal, which is also called duzen. Duzen, and this one is called sitzen. Okay, duzen and sitzen. You would always be over here in the informal. I realize that here in the US we say the yes ma'am, no ma'am, yes sir, no sir to our parents whenever you're in trouble. But in Germany you're going to stick to the informal. Okay, so that's the difference between formal and informal. Let me pull up the actual sheet for you. Okay, this is the one page of the vocab sheet. There's a second page, of course, but this is the one page that has formal and informal just greetings, and on the other one you have additional vocab and additional forms. So notice when you're looking at these two categories, you have Guten Tag and then just Tag. They both mean hello. Really, they mean good day and day, but they both just mean hello. And of course you have just the extra word Guten that makes a difference. So Tag by itself is just very informal. Guten Tag is formal. Same goes for Guten Morgen and Guten Abend. Notice how Guten Abend still means hello. It's good evening. It's you greeting somebody. It is not you saying goodbye. Then we've got a bunch of additional informal ones. We've got Hallo, Grüß dich, Grüß Gott, Grüezi, and Servus. So there's additional ones given right here. One that is not on your screen is Moin, and that is spelled M-O-I-N. And they say that in the morning in northern Germany it means good morning. So notice how you have little abbreviations back here. You've got S German, that means southern Germany. It is very common to say Grüß Gott, greet God, specifically in southern Germany. In the north you won't hear that very often. Grüezi is very strange in Germany. You will only hear that in Switzerland. And Servus you will only hear in Austria. You will not hear that anywhere else. And of course it means hello and goodbye. It means both of those. Okay, then we've got a bunch of farewells. Auf Wiedersehen and Wiedersehen, which means goodbye. Specifically, it actually means until we see each other again, but it means goodbye. Again, the one word difference. And Tschüss, Ciao, and Servus. So again, one is just for Austria, and the other ones are said all over Germany. And lastly, we've got Gute Nacht. Now that's a farewell. It is not common to say Gute Nacht to anyone as a goodbye. You're really only saying that when you're saying good night and somebody's going to sleep, in which case I really doubt it's going to be formal. Ignore that it's in that category. It would probably be over here in the informal. For your first test, you need to be able to differentiate between these two groups and to be able to spell them. So make sure that you have some of these down. You don't need to know every single one, but make sure you have a couple informal ones and a couple of formal ones for both greetings and goodbye. All right, now we're looking at the back of your vocab sheet. I want you, just in order to practice a little bit, to look at the little activity right here. So you've got E18, formell oder informell. How could you greet the following people at the times given? So 9 a.m., 3 p.m., and 7 p.m., your professor or your fellow students. So formal and informal. And I want you to write in responses for each one. I have projected, whoops, okay, that's just going to stay there. I have at the top all of the different options, and of course you have the vocab sheet as well.